What is good? What is good? Hope everybody's doing well. Today is December 28th, 2023. And we're just a couple days past Christmas. So hope everybody enjoyed their holiday. And we still have New Year's coming up, but at the same time, it's back to business time, right? You take time, enjoy with your family, which I hope you all did. I know I did. But preparing for 2024, it's going to be an incredible year. And I've been just excited just to share a lot of these things that we're going to talk about today in today's stream, and have you guys be a part of not only the BFD gang, but really a part of the group of investors here in crypto that really get the butter from the duck. Like, not just in theory, but actually know how to do this step by step. And I'm gonna be right here with you guys. So appreciate you guys for coming through. I'm so grateful to even just have the opportunity to be in a position to where I have the resources, and not only that, the knowledge that can be beneficial to not only myself but to other people around me. And yes, it takes a lot of hard work, but this is just an ode to the passion that I have for not only just trying to create a financial prosperity for myself and my family, but to people that I see that are going the same direction as I am. I really love doing that. So today is going to be a good one. We'll kind of start with just some preliminary things, and then we'll kind of dive into like the main topic. But 2024 is going to be the continued birth. So this is kind of like the rebirth of the Vaults of Crypto education platform, essentially of what it is. So really thank you guys for coming through. Happy holidays. We got Nav in here once again, BFD gang in the house, and Christmas came early. 100%. This December has been very nice, especially for altcoins, and so we've seen the altcoin market capitalization literally go up close to almost $200 billion in the last couple of months. It's been very exciting, and there's much more to go. But the challenge that most people are going to have is not just how they start, but how they finish. That's something that I learned in my professional career when I was playing the NFL. And even before that, is that a lot of people can start off well, but how do you not fumble the ball? How do you not fumble the bag as you ascend and you make your way? Crypto is a very tricky landscape. And a lot of times for the first time or even for the second time, you still kind of have those, well, I'm not sure moments. And I think the biggest thing that give you the confidence to be able to proceed not only with your plan, but create a good plan and execute on it is the aspect of having good, not only just mentorship, but just a fair understanding about the whole ecosystem in its whole. So not just what coin you're buying, but how to understand order books. What does the derivatives market look like? How to understand the macro side of things alongside of crypto. So not just saying, hey, let me buy a coin and sell a coin. Um, these are things that I've dedicated 10,000 hours to plus to be able to not only understand but to be able to regurgitate to help other people stand at an easy level. So my goal here today is not to show you guys anything, but just to invite you guys to a group of just people that are already killing it out here in crypto. And it's something that I've started a little bit ago, but I'm now opening to a public. I had a confliction in my heart of like saying, hey, did I want to just offer just a Telegram chat? Of course not. I think sometimes that's just low value. What I wanted to offer was a suite of tools that can help people in real time, in real terms. And so that's what I did over the past, 7 to 8 months. And so when I'm not streaming, I'm actually working to provide something of value. And so essentially, that's what we have here with the Vaults of Crypto education platform. So, we'll kind of ponder through a couple things here. We'll just check out the general market, but then I really want to kind of get down to the gritty of why we're here, and I want us to start off 2024 ready to go. Like, we got our stuff. We understand what is at stake here. We're taking this stuff serious because I think the way that I kind of look at crypto, especially now and here in 2024, if you're not taking this next like 3 to 6 months extremely serious, trying to get equities or not necessarily equities, but trying to get your hard-earned capital into the market, you're kind of dropping the ball already. So sometimes you need somebody to continue to remind you like, hey, Like, get to work, understand what you're doing. Because one, it's going to serve you better later on. That's one thing that I always experienced when I had a coach that was always kind of pushing me past my limit sometimes, past my limit of learning, past my limit of physical capability sometimes. But I ended up being not only just a stronger athlete, but mentally and emotionally, just I had the fortitude to see things through. And a lot of time, that's what a lot of people struggle with, especially here in crypto, because it can be very emotional. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Let's go ahead and get started. So, we can go ahead and look at the overall market as of right now. I want to say that things are looking pretty dang good. Today here on a beautiful Thursday. It's a little cold outside. So right now, the overall market capitalization is sitting at about $1.7 trillion. And that's right where we're supposed to be. Now, we've had a lot of things pop off. We've had some meme coins start to go. We were talking about, Bonk. We've seen Sneck off of ADA. We've had, some GameFi push, right? Where we had some things go off in Illuvium. We've also had these layer ones start to take off, right? And lastly, we're starting to see some Ethereum dominance start to come back. And this is a beautiful thing because this is capital rotation. And last night I did a stream just specifically for the platform, and posted it in there talking about the specifics of how capital rotation works, and not only just from opinion. Really none of the stuff that I say is just based off opinion. It's all based on just pure analytical data, and a lot of this stuff is on-chain data that everyone can verify, and you can actually go verify yourself. But outside of that, things are looking pretty good. Bitcoin, the best part about being in a bull run and investing early on in the bull run is when price goes up. Yes, we have drawbacks, but price likes to kind of stay still. It's the exact opposite of a bear market where, price is kind of, going sideways, and then it just goes to the downside over and over and over and over until it beats investors over the head. This is the exact opposite where, you can get quality entry points. And then from there, essentially, you find price not really beating you up through time. You may have some drawbacks, but a lot of the time, price tends to go up more than it ever goes down, and you end up being protected to the downside simply from being a part of a bull market early. And that's a beautiful feeling. This is the way that you really want to experience a crypto market, because trust me, the other way that people experience crypto is solely, them getting trounced by the bear market. And it's sad, it's sad. No one wants to see anyone go through that, but it happens. You have to live and you have to learn, but hopefully you don't make mistakes more than once. And so we have a couple things looking pretty good. Now, Ethereum hovering right under 2,400 bucks. It's been kind of going back and forth all this morning. I kind of been watching it over the past few hours. And that's like the beautiful story that we're starting to see. We're starting to see some of these, not only coins that have been around for a long time, but we're starting to see continued development and appreciation for these coins as well. So Ethereum up 17% over the last 30 days. But I'm kind of giving you guys the red alert now. Ethereum has been lagging behind Bitcoin just slightly for the past year, but 2024 is going to be different. Mark my words, hear it first, or you may have heard it somewhere else, but understand Ethereum is going to start its shine and start its move against Bitcoin and dominance in 2024. So get ready, get your bags packed, and let's go. So we have some other things still popping off, right? So BNB over the past 30 days looking pretty good, 45% up. But this past week, 22% gain, not shabby for BNB. We know the darling of 2023 for these, when it comes to main like blue chip layer one coins, Solana still doing its thing, and it's not disappointing. But we also see coins like Cardano coming back up. We see AVAX. It's kind of been like the second darling of the main ecosystem layer ones. But we even have the laggards moving. So coins like Polkadot in the last 30 days, 64%. So if you're watching this and you're just like, man, what? 45%, 80%, 67%, 100% in a month. How is this even possible? Welcome to crypto. This happens all the time in the bull market. and the numbers get even larger from here. But it's about being able to temper your expectations, but also position yourself for high benefits here in the next year and a half, 2 years. And so it takes strategy to do that. Like there's no mistake on who makes it in crypto and who doesn't. You have to be able to weather the storm as we climb the wall of worry of what we may call it. So, but just in the past week, let's see in the top 100 what's kind of going up. And typically, I really don't talk about stuff that I think is really not going to benefit anybody long term. Like, so yes, meme coins are cool. Maybe 5% of the portfolio you can allocate to them, but you probably won't find us talking too much about that. But coins like Optimism, right? Because here's the thing: in the last 30 days, Optimism has gone up 118%. And you're going to find meme coins in the top, who knows, a top 50 even, right? Doge and Sheep, stuff like that. But the question you got to ask yourself is, you know, stuff that has viability for real adoption, not just for this cycle, but even for 2, 3, 4 cycles. Those are things that we want to find because that's actually how you really gain wealth through time, truthfully. Not just trying to, sell a top at the top of the cycle, but if you had to hold on to 20 to 25% of those bags still, you still want that to fare well through not only a span of 4 years, but 8, 10, 20 years. And the people who have held Bitcoin thus far has been able to do that and really have different type of options, wealth options, because this is a game of attrition, but not only that, but really trying to understand the aspect of how to operate with your money once you have it. And I'm going to stop and talk about that here in a bit. But we got some things moving over the past week. Coins like Arbitrum, these are Arbitrum and Optimism. These are specifically attached to Ethereum. And we have to understand when Ethereum is gaining in market capitalization and it is starting to gain in dominance, especially versus BTC, these are like derivative plays off of Ethereum, essentially, where Ethereum's going to go high, but these are going to pace Ethereum just a little bit faster to the upside. And so these are things to understand and really start to wrap your head around. And so, we got some good stuff coming through. Outside of that, let's take a look and see the chart for Ethereum for today. And what I'll start to do here is I'll start to introduce some of the things that, been working on here in the background. Some of these things I've already shared. Some of these things, this is going to be the premiere for you guys to start to see what's all going on here. But this is a suite of tools that I have created here. Let's get all these things off for now. A suite of tools that I have created and curated specifically to help people not only DCA, but also systemize the way that they buy their crypto, but understand a good parameter of boundaries that you need to go through as an investor here in crypto. Because you need to create systems, guys. It is so important. A lot of people just go at this thing without having a barometer on which they do things. And that is never going to be a recipe for success and to be calculated. This is all about being a smart, savvy investor, as I've always told you guys. So here we have the chart for Ethereum, and this is a 3-day chart. Beautiful asset, guys. We've had a nice steady growth through time, very similar to something that we've seen in this previous cycle on the upwards move off of its low. Now, with that being said, Ethereum is an incredible asset because people have to understand that the reason why you want to hold something like Ethereum, I understand it maybe not give you that 50x this cycle, but same thing, having the conversation of what does it look like once I have wealth, and let's say crypto in general. People don't understand, especially if they're kind of just getting started, that once you have wealth and you have excess capital that is more than just sitting just in a savings account, but capital that you can actually use, you have options, and being able to get loans off of your assets is a beautiful thing because these are non-taxable events. Key concept: non-taxable event. This is something that I have learned over the past 7 years of my life. And the biggest expense that anyone ever has is taxes. Taxes will always take the most money from you. Then after that is your rental cost or your mortgage. Then after that, usually is your automobile cost. So learning the things that take the most amount of purchasing power from you are super important. Now, how to operate, is very important as well. I always, these are things that I do promote. Owning your own business potentially, right? Being able to get out of the working class, the W-2 class, because now you put yourselves in a different, I would say, ruling when it comes to taxes. You can do different things. These are all things that we go over within the education of Vaults Crypto. Um, Now, the aspect of saying, hey, once you've done well with crypto, being able to turn that into Ethereum, there's places that you can go to. You guys have probably heard of them. Places you can go to like Aave, where I mean, right now the rates are 4%, 5%, where you don't even have to do a large LTV. You can say, hey, let's say I'm a person that has $1 million in Ethereum, and don't get afraid of that number. It's, believe it or not, in crypto, this is something that is achievable. Y'all have to believe that. But hey, taking $1 million of your Ethereum and say, hey, I want a 10% LTV. So that means, hey, I want to go ahead and borrow $100,000, and this rate is at 4%, 5%. Understanding that, hey, through the time that you do this over the next 5, 10, 20 years, you have to ask yourself, will Ethereum go up 4 or 5%? In most cases, the answer is yes. And so I'm not advocating for everyone to go out and take loans, but understand that you can be your own bank safely, and you don't need a credit score to do it. That's the biggest thing that hurts people, where they don't have the credit or they can't afford or whatever the case is. Being able to utilize your assets, and you can use that $100,000 for whatever you want. Maybe it's to buy more Ethereum, whatever it may be. And so the key thing is you have options here in crypto, but learning how to handle your wealth in crypto is not an easy thing once you have it. And the education platform helps you through that process. So now, as we continue to talk about Ethereum here, things are looking pretty good. We know that we have the halving coming up. I have done a stream already on the Ethereum duration map. Here, let me pop that up really quickly. So the ETH duration map, with same thing, we talk about this constantly in the group. Uh, the duration map is right on points. I did a stream on this, who knows, probably about, I want to say 5 or 6 months ago. Right about here, once we enter this accumulation phase, we will be, kind of heading out of that accumulation phase once we get to the halving, and then really, really start to see some upside for Ethereum up until 2025. And so these things are cyclical. Understand the cyclical nature of things, and really being prepared, learning the difference between a bear market, a transitional market, and a bull market. These are key concepts, and these are color coordinated. Time duration, price, appreciation. And so, one thing that I do even more is in the platform, I break things down to where essentially almost a third grader can understand it. I practice this on my nieces and nephews, even they get it now. And so it's a beautiful thing. If you feel like you're struggling with some of these major concepts, we really take the time. And this is like on YouTube, this is like maybe a once every couple of weeks, or I've been streaming a little bit more lately. But with the platform, this is every single day, every single week, until we see this thing through, right? And so, this is a beautiful thing that we have access to. Now, let's kind of go back and talk about what are some things that are included in the platform. So one of the beautiful things about, being in the Volta Crypto education platform is you have access. So access is half the battle for a lot of people. Resources. So some of the resources that we're including, and the people who are already in it have already started to take advantage of, and I love to see it, are specific trading view indicators that are meant to help you stay away from buying tops, but to understand how to hedge risk and stay on the lower risk profile. So a couple of things, right? For example, we have these invite only scripts that I have created. As you can see, Tarif 10 is username here on TradingView, but we have a lot of things that you guys can use to your advantage. And so, I'll go ahead and pop these up, and we'll start to loosely get familiar, I can't give you all the sauce. You can get the rest of the sauce once you guys go ahead and subscribe, which we'll send that link here in a bit. But I wanted to create this as a suite of tools to, like I said, help you guys win, because it has helped me win this past bear market. Because you guys know it's about where you buy, is half the battle, and then executing on the sale at a later point in time when prices are much higher. So the first thing that I want to introduce is the Heikin-Ashi trend reversal indicator. So we've talked about this a couple times, where this is essentially an aspect of us being able to pinpoint the trend reversal moments in any asset. So let's say you're a stock guy, or let's say, you specifically want to focus on some other altcoins, maybe not Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is going to work for all of them, where essentially it takes the 100-day moving average or the 100-week moving average, depending on what chart that you're looking at, what time frame, and it is going to keep you from, you're never going to buy anything above that, essentially. So it's going to protect you to the downside, but then it also is going to allow you that opportunity. So it's going to give you a buy signal. So let me see if I can zoom in nice and tight for us. So it's also going to give you that nice buy signal, at advantageous points. And so what we can do is put this on the Heikin-Ashi candles, and this thing is coded up. Like, I will spare the minutia of going through all the code. I may pop it up here. If y'all don't understand, it took me months and months to perfect this stuff, but you know what? Building takes time, and we got some good stuff here. But essentially what it does is it helps you catch a good DCA before things go to the upside, when things are at a low risk premium. I repeat, when things are at a low risk premium, and it keeps you from buying top. So for example, you're not going to be buying anything up here, because you would have done so here, 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 and here for Ethereum. And so, I typically like to use this on the 3-day chart. But let's say in this bull, you're like, hey, I need to catch these drawdowns just a little bit better. You may want to change to the daily chart. And same thing, it gives you a little bit more opportunity on the shorter term time scales. But for example, right, it keeps you buying these lows here, 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 and obviously, not doing too much on the buy side up top. Now you're saying, what? Wait, hold on, Swerve. It says sell up here. Well, hey, for you traders out there, here you go. I really don't advocate trading too much, but this is a tool that can help you execute your trading strategy simply by saying, hey, keeping a low risk premium on the buy side, and is letting you know the moment that you are in profit, a certain percentage, you'll start seeing these sell signals pop up. Now, typically, I like to only use the sell signals on the monthly chart. So when I'm looking at an asset, for example, and we have a lot of other things to help when things are extremely overheated in a market at the top of a bull, right? But typically, this thing is going to fire off pretty nicely, right, at the top of bull markets, like here, 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 and here. And so this is the primary one that I look towards when it comes to the bull market, and being able to utilize this metric to help you. So there's the first one. It's an extremely powerful tool. Now let's kind of go into the suite of there's 6 total tools here, indicators that we can use here in conjunction, because it's all about getting confluence, looking at the same exact thing across many different fronts. So I'll pop them up here and we'll get to going. So we'll kind of go back to that 3-day chart. So we'll go one by one. And the first one that we will talk about is the one that, well, here, I know that I've talked about this one here quite often. This is the risk indicator. So the risk indicator, and let's actually do this. Let's have a little fun. And we will look at the source code here. I'll share some of the things of the thought behind why I put this together and how it makes sense. So you guys have access to this because the stuff is invite only. So what did I do here? Basically, we have to take a lot of things into consideration. So we have to understand risk under the aspect of standard deviations upon current spot price and standard deviations above spot price. So with that being said, we have a few moving averages, which we take the 50-day moving average here and you see the 50-week moving average, right? And so what we have to do, we have to request. And so we have to request a security essentially. And essentially that is saying, hey, this means we're requesting a moving line for these metrics through time. And so essentially the aspect of saying we're looking at standard deviations above and below the mean price through time, and that helps us assess risk is what this means. So for example, I've come here and chosen beautiful colors to make things plain. And, for example, hey, let's say I want to change this to a different color. Is what it is, right? A lot of people, I don't know if they even show you the the backlog of how they, yeah, let's turn this into Volta crypto colors, for example. Turn this into gold, right? On how they create their things. But, hey, why not do it here live? Let's go here. Boom. Oh, I have it under read only. So it's not going to let me do it in here right now. I would have to go and work on the script in the background off stream. But essentially, this stuff is really helpful, and I'll tell you why. So we'll kind of put that down here for a second because like I said, it helps you understand risk. Here in 2021 all through January was extremely high risk from January 2021 through essentially November, where if you were buying Ethereum at these times, you put yourself at a high risk premium. Now, if you found yourself investing any time before that, so in the bear market in 2019, and even to the point, here, even after COVID, where prices were higher, right? Let's see if we can pull Ethereum back down. And so let's see, we'll condense these other ones for now, and we'll get to those in a bit. We got some really good stuff, y'all, like really good stuff. All right. All right. Boom. So, talking about here, we'll take this one off for now. So, talking about risk here, prices were, higher after COVID at this point. So, for example, this is kind of where we are today. I put a vertical bar here. So, with the risk metric, yes, prices were higher from the low. Prices were about $400, where the low was sitting about $90. So, it was up 400%, or even off these points of where it was low risk premium here, where it was about $150. So, with that being said, prices were higher, but you were not in an extreme risk. Where that's kind of where we find ourselves today, where we're not in extreme risk buying Ethereum today. But it's just not as good as what it was in June of 2022 or the beginning of 2023. But you have to ask yourself, okay, where do things go through time? And then so through time, right, you see an Ethereum go incredibly parabolic, and you start to see this red, shaded color here with the risk metric, and prices go much higher from $400, and then so you see an Ethereum go from $400 to essentially, 4,000. And then so investors who, were, savvy enough to kind of understand risk at the time, here we can see a plane, where there's still a lot of room to grow, whatever asset that you're looking at. So you can look at this with Ethereum or Solana or Phantom or Luvium or, whatever your heart's desire is, you can assess the risk currently. So this is a 3-day chart that we're looking at. You can look at this on any time frame. So the daily, for a little bit more in particular, understanding, okay, hey, where are we at on the day, right? And so, the same factor remains. Hey, we want to assess risk at all time frames, at all points. Where I think this one is the most powerful is really looking at the weekly. The weekly and the monthly. The higher time frames really tell you the truth of what's going on with an asset. And then so, one thing that we can see here is here in the bear market, risk is extremely low. These high points, and another thing, you can kind of see this divergence as well, saying that, yes, we made higher prices, really through a lot of, excess capital through, leverage here in the back half of 2021. But essentially, you've seen this divergence here. And so risk is extremely high. So anybody essentially buying in this box, those are, because think about it, the people who had the worst time in crypto were the people who bought this. So imagine if they had a tool like this that tells them, nope, don't buy it down there, just wait. All they had to do was wait 8 months to buy it down here, 10 months to buy it down here. And so they just didn't have the tools they needed. And maybe they weren't a part of the market earlier before that. And then so, like I said, like kind, we find ourselves in a similar risk premium as this point's last cycle, right about here when it comes to Ethereum. If you can kind of look at that. So here, boom, and then here. And then so we have not received that hockey stick moments, which is a good thing if you're looking at this now, because that gives you time to get into this asset or a asset of your choosing. So beautiful thing. Let's continue on. So that is the risk indicator. You can assess risk on many time frames. Beautiful thing. Now, another thing that I wanted to look at is, another one that we have here is looking at the fear and greed. So we understand risk, but then understand the aspect of sentiment. So sentiment is another important thing. Here, let me go ahead and see if I can pop that back up. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so understanding sentiment is a very important thing where we can see the sentiment for any asset. And so this one is beautiful where I coded it to give us a 100-day look back. So it takes the average of the sentiment of the past 100 days and it plots it out on this chart. And this blue line keeps it in frame. At the top end, we have 80. At the bottom end, we have 20. Anything below 20, extreme sentiment, where people are extremely fearful. People have nothing to do with this asset. They don't even want it. This is when you want to be the person to go and buy it. Same thing, vice versa. When you get to the extreme greed, and you start to see some things line up, right? Where, so for example, this is showing us, hey, we're not at the same greed level of what we were for Ethereum back in this day, even though it's saying we have similar risk. For example, if you were to buy Ethereum today. So this is still a good thing because that means that sentiment is still to come. So that means prices typically go higher, right, on the greed side. And so one thing that you're able to see, let's pop this up on the big screen. These readings above 80 really let you know, especially here on this weekly chart, things are getting extremely overvaluated. And, we're above 80 and it stays up there for some time. So another confluence indicator lets you know, hey, the risk is high, the sentiment is high. I'm seeing sell signals on the Heikin trend reversal, seeing three things at once, telling you the same story. This is what you need to be able to make an informed decision. So check the sentiment. This one's pretty straightforward here. And we all have it here all on TradingView. So you can literally just go line by line by line. You'll need to ask, 50 people what to do. You can know what to do for yourself using these tools. Cool. So this next one, this is like my favorite one, to be honest, because it tells us the macro side of it. So one thing that I've been working on is something called the Global Net Liquidity 90-day Oscillator. So what does it do? I'll tell you. So this gives us an incredible look of global liquidity on a 90-day basis. So, something that may be a little bit more helpful, we can look at something like, let's see, Apple. So something like Apple, which is a stock, right? And we're in crypto primarily, but this is going to be able to help us really understand and see how global liquidity affects everything in crypto as well. And so global liquidity is it's a function of all the money that is usable throughout all the world. We're talking about China, Russia, the EU, we're talking about Australia, United States, Canada, right? The liquidity throughout the world. So we have this metric that, I've been able to put on a 90-day swing. So we have the highs and lows over the basis of the last 90 days. And this tells us an incredible story where essentially when we see on a rolling basis, we see this thing bottom out. And we see that these typically are great pivot points to really get into a market. And what does this tell us on a longer duration time scale? That things are about to get very exciting. So this is something that you want to use on the high time frames, typically the weekly and the monthly. Let's see here. Okay. And so, this thing is going to help you line up once again for those really, really good buy opportunities. When you see this metric really get low on the end of like below 40 or 45, right? You can check, hey, is liquidity low? Okay, cool. I find that these are these great pivot points. Hey, when liquidity is rising higher, that lets you know we're going to have a bullish move. So we're right at the cusp right here at the bottom of liquidity resetting and moving higher. Beautiful thing. And, we can backstop that and check BTC as well. So BTC. And let's look at, we'll go here. So same thing. It's a beautiful thing. You'll see a liquidity track with BTC as well, where we find that when liquidity is heading down, we see, BTC draining in price. Then when that liquidity gets reset, so if y'all can see, these reset moments, or when you start to see where things are nice and flat with low liquidity throughout the globe, right? So really, let's, for example, this time here, when it's like, okay, liquidity is low, right? Boom. This is your comfortable DCA range, right? And you get some of the lows, right? So we get some of the lows, but you get that, that point where there's not a lot of money around, in the market, and in people's pocket. There is some, but not the most that we'll see. And then so these pivot points are incredible to be able to acknowledge and notice on a 90-day basis, a quarterly basis. So the reason why it's 90-day, because that's a quarter. And then so, in any investment, you want to be able to assess things on a 3-month time scale, just to kind of see, okay, how is my portfolio, how's my wealth doing every single quarter? And then so you're able to, get these moments in time where, liquidity is, not so high, and you're the one who gets the benefit. So same thing here, right? Where you see liquidity really running low, throughout the globe on a 90-day basis. But here's the thing, once we get to these lower portions, we see a rise in liquidity, right? And this is what creates these bull runs. So these moves like this, move like this. And so we are on the precipice of that here in 2024. So really exciting stuff. Can't wait to see this continue to plot out through the years through 2024 and 2025. So we have the global net liquidity 90-day oscillator. So beautiful. Now, the question is, but I have a whole bunch of altcoins. How do I know things are getting overheated? So I have something beautiful that I thought about. This is something that I created actually in the last couple of weeks, which this is going to give us a beautiful signal and give us a timestamp of when certain layer ones in conjunction are all outperforming Bitcoin at the same time. So let's go ahead and bring that up. We have that, so we'll get rid of that for now. And so we'll bring this one up here. So this one is the crypto outperforming BTC oscillator. So let's actually go in and read what we have here. So let's do this. Source code. All right. So I was thinking a couple weeks ago, what is a good barometer to know when things are really, really going to sustain its price move versus BTC? So that means Ethereum dominance is maintaining it against BTC. Other alts are pumping against BTC. I was thinking about, okay, well, these tried and true blue chips, these coins that have a high market capitalization. So we're talking, top 10 coins here. When they all sustain a 30-day move against BTC, where it is, sustaining more than 10% on a 30-day basis, this is a good time to say, all right, you know what? All these altcoins are really flourishing right now. And then so all your other altcoins should be skying by that point. So what I did was I needed to have it track, same thing, request a security, which basically means, request a crypto coin so we can track the data for it. So we are tracking Ethereum BTC. So we're tracking the Ethereum BTC ratio, Solana BTC ratio, ADA BTC ratio, AVAX, BNB, and DOT. So we have some slower movers, in DOT and ADA. We have some faster movers in Solana and AVAX. BNB is right in the middle. ETH is right in the middle. But all of these are large market cap coins where on their ratio are outperforming Bitcoin on a 30-day basis. I hope that makes sense. And so these are the time periods at the very, very ripping and running parts of the bull run. And then so what I did was I, pulled a rate of change. So that's what that takes, ROC, rate of change, over the past 100 days, which it calculates the close of the price over the last 30 days. And then so the metric does pop up here in blue, and it tells us, it sustains itself, or it kind of just pops up, for example, here and here, where we have these moments when all of them in conjunction are carrying a premium on their BTC ratio of at least 10% all at the same time. and it creates this oscillator. So hope that all makes sense. If not, go back and learn, Pine script and Python, and I'm sure it will. So, one thing is this thing is silent, right? We're not going to see nothing, but we're going to see this flash. Guess what? At the tops of markets. And May of 2021, really through November of 2021, we're seeing in conjunction these other layer ones, which guess what? These layer ones are not going nowhere. They're still going to carry a large market capitalization of this cycle. So, when these things are firing off, guess what? The market capitalization coins that are lower than this are going to be even more exponential. So we'll get this firing off, letting us know that, hey, 100% of those coins that I just mentioned are outpacing BTC on their ratio. And that happens at the later state of the bull run. So for example, we can see Ethereum during this time, and you will see that this is going to capture the top basin. So, one thing I did a lot of talking about was, hey, you guys capture the lower basin of, price action for this bear market, right? So, that was, all of this stuff right here back here in the beginning of 2023 and 2022. Not saying, hey, get the low, right? You were able to get the low, it's great, but no one's perfect. But to get the lower basin. So now we're going to talk about getting the higher basin on being able to DC it out of the market. And then so for example, this stuff doesn't flash until all those metrics are hit. And what do you know? It captures the higher basin. And let's see if I can, you know, line this up for us. So it captures the higher basin of price action to a T. So we don't have to get it perfect, but it's letting us know essentially, all of this stuff in between when Ethereum was, 4,200 bucks all the way through about 5,000 bucks, right? Hey, you guys need to be considering allocating out of the market. Go ahead and take those profits, those profits that you work so hard for. And that's obvious, it's the obvious move, especially when you have bought and accumulated at these lower basins, right? Like how we have here in the BFD gang here on the channel. So, this is an incredible tool to, know to go ahead and take care of business here, right? And then so same thing, we could look that this was even good for looking at something like Solana. See if we can pull that up. Solana, boom. And same thing, you could use this for any asset, right? You can look at it for Phantom, whatever your heart's desire is. So let's see if we can do Phantom. No, let's go to Solana first. Okay, do Solana. Let's see here. No, we need the full charts. There we go. Cool, right? So same thing. It's letting you know, like, hey, for people that were investing at these lower risk premiums. So back in early 2020 for the people who knew about Solana back then, but for us, for example, here in this past bear market, same thing. It's letting you know, hey, everything, these main layer ones on the ratio are outpacing Bitcoin. And so through this time period, it's letting you know, okay, here is when things are getting overheated. It's going to flash. And then so this is the time period where you want to consider, because DCing out of the market is a process. You're not going to do it all in one shot. And if you try to, you're going to find yourself hurting, because a lot of times a price likes to go higher after you have, sold all your bags. So you want to do this stuff in steps. So maybe it's, for example, here, I'll give you guys a freebie here, live. So DCA strategy out of the market. Maybe once you see this flash off for the first time, where it's like, oh, it's silent and then it kicks up. Okay, cool. Maybe, for some of your assets, maybe half your portfolio, you take out that first. So we'll call this DCA out. So you'll go in steps of 5% at first. Boom. Let's say, cool, you'll see this thing go through and you see it flash again. Number 2. Okay, this time around, let me take another 20% out the market. Boom. Okay, you see this thing flash for a third time, right? Boom. This is when Solana would have been about 230 bucks. Okay, cool. Now I increase my DCA out, right? To where, now I'm saying, okay, cool. Now I take 50% out. Okay. And so by then, you through this range, you start off small, and as things tend to continue to run, you take out the larger chunks. And this is a step system to be able to DCA out. So where you have DCA and profited 75% of your, your total gains, you've been able to take out. But at the same time, you always do want to leave something in crypto. Like you never want to take out everything, right? But you're able to, get back into stables or whatever, maybe convert these into Ethereum or Bitcoin, these other altcoins, and this is how you really execute. So using tools to do this is going to be helpful alongside with strategy, which we talk about strategy all day, every day. So let's take a pause, see what you guys think about the suite of tools. Once again, these are invite only, so you guys will not have access to this if you just go to TradingView today. You can only get access to these if you are in the group, if you are subscribed to the educational platform. So let's take a pause here and go from there. All right. We got a lot of stuff here in the chat. Let's see. But I mean, the message should have been buy Bitcoin when it was 15K. Sorry, but not even Crypto Mindset was saying that. They were saying buy ETH. I was buying Bitcoin, right? To each his own, right? Where, this is a market to where you can decide to do what you want. That's the beautiful thing about having the knowledge for yourself, right? Let's see. I've accumulated so much more ETH from the 1K BTC I bought instead of buying ETH at 900. Gotcha. Right? There's many different ways to slice the apple. I like ETH, but buying Bitcoin should always be priority, especially when in the bear market. Right? Well, essentially BTC is going to be the first mover generally in the bull market. So, there's different philosophies, but that's what I'm all about. You guys creating your own philosophy and sticking to it, but then having the tools to help you stick with it, right? Let's see. Cool. Yo, what's good? Art in the chat. Okay. We got a BTC Maxi. Yes, but the optimal strategy is to hold alts with intention, taking profits, eventually accumulating more. Yeah, ETH and BTC. That's kind of what I stated, right? The reason why you want to exercise the option on things that outpace BTC is simply so you can accumulate more, BTC or ETH, right? So very important concept to see the nuance. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Who we got? Just jumping in, looping back to the beginning. All right, cool. Well, I'll catch you when you get to this point. Dave T, what's good? So, with that being said, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So, what I presented to you guys is an opportunity that you guys all have a chance to be a part of here in 2024. So let's pop over to it really quickly. But here's another thing. Before I do that, and present that to you guys, I really want you guys to, one, not just listen to just people on the internet all the time. Sometimes people have to have some type of credibility, and in the next 5 minutes, I'll kind of do a little bit of that. uh all right, see you later. So in the aspect of talking about, you've got to understand the journey that people have been on to substantiate where they are now. I know here you kind of see this picture behind me when I stream. And, a previous life of mine, as I said all the time, is yeah, being a professional athlete has opened up a lot of doors for me, not only just from the aspect of, seeing what to do when it comes to when kind of have finance in like all of a sudden, essentially, but in the aspect of saying, how to manage it, right? And so a lot of people on YouTube, you have no clue, what their background is. You have no clue if they even have any real life experience. And so, a lot of people, you can say, okay, cool. They seem like they know what they're talking about, but what is the experience behind it? They can't substantiate it. Me, the thing about that is, you guys can Google me. And this is not a flex. This is not to say, hey, this is why you should listen to me or anything like that. But before you ever, pay attention to what somebody is doing, first they need to provide value, right? But then also at the same time, really being able to say, okay, cool, what is their background to a certain extent, right? And I'll kind of tell you guys that. And what I'll say is, I do have a background of getting access to capital and being able to deploy it the correct way. But the question is, well, how did you get your capital? I'll let you guys know, right? You guys can Google. So let's head over here really quickly. And this is me myself, but I'm that confident in the aspect of my body of work through time, which I have no problem doing that. So let's take a look. Let's see here. So as y'all all know, or if you don't know, watching the stream for the first time, I have a colorful background where I played football for a very long time, since the age of 6. I am now retired, but I have spent 6 years playing in the National Football League. So as you can see, incredible earning years here, where through time, millions of dollars have been received. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was young, this is all when I was 19 years old, 20. It was very daunting receiving sudden, resources, when it comes to money. And so me learning how to handle that was a process. And so this is something that's, you know, in the educational platform I share with you guys. It's because I'm telling you guys, it is not an easy thing. Like most lottery winners, when they win the lottery in a span of, let's say, 5 to 10 years, they're broke again. Because why? They don't know the steps to being able to handle wealth. And so, just from that time period, you're seeing, and this is verifiable, right? $3.6 million made, right? And so this is not even including any investments that I've done or anything. This is just from salary. So when you guys hear from people, and y'all can go and do your Googles, and y'all can find this as well. So when you guys go and start to listen to people or hear from anybody, you want to know their experience, right? Where, hey, are these people who have even had money before? And a lot of times these people, that's not the case. So that's me doxing myself before I, provide anything of value. I want to tell you guys, hey, where am I coming from? My background in college is one of communications and business finance. That's what I went to school for. So, when I come on here, I'm not just speaking of what I think or what I feel, but just from just a long, long time of experience. At the end of the day, that's what most people can present, is their true experience and what they've learned from it. So, with that being said, I do want to share this with y'all. This is the Volts of Crypto educational platform. As I mentioned, we'll pop over there. I'll put the link in the description. If you guys want to, like I said, come and be a part of the community and really come and get some real value, today is where you can start. So we'll share that screen here. So boom, let's pop over. So here's where you can, go ahead and get started, which I'll put this link in the chat here for a second. It's $69 a month. So you have to ask yourself, for $69 a month, am I educating myself to be able to execute on my $1 million crypto plan or my several $100,000 crypto plan, right? Because you guys have to see yourself making that kind of money in crypto, which is very possible. I've done it. There's other people that have done it, but there's people who have fumbled the ball and have struggled to do it. And they're like, man, how do I get this thing figured out? So being able to get access to not only just the Telegram chat, but also these indicators, as well as private streams talking about wealth strategies, this is key, y'all. This is going to be what can give you guys a success. So, here's a link for that, which, I'll go ahead and put this here in the chat. It's also in the description in this video. So if you guys are watching this on the replay, or you're trying to get this link as well, it's at the bottom of the description. You guys can click it and you guys can join and you guys can jump right in. One thing that I'm telling you guys right off the rip, only 100 people are going to be allowed in here. I do not want a group of 1,000 people, 5,000 people. That's not what it's about for me. This really ain't about money, but I do know that, you can't give away everything for free. You have to be able to provide the value, and people a lot of times won't really take advantage of it unless they're paying for it. So, but the biggest thing is here is that you guys have a group of other people that are going in the same direction as you, but everybody's utilizing these tools, sharpening each other's iron. There's a Bible verse, iron sharpen iron. Here's an opportunity where you guys can do this in a private, intimate, group of 100 people, and so I really like the sanctity of having a tight knit family, so that's that. And so we'll put that there in the chat in a bit. Outside of that, let me show you guys the actual website here. So Vulture Crypto website, it's a beautiful thing, right, where we are able to just get a good idea. So I got some freebies on here already for you guys, so y'all can go to voltsofcrypto.com. All right, let's pull that up. Boom. So here's the site, vulturecryptoeducation.com. You can go to services here. Same thing. Once you go to services, you'll kind of see, what we have to offer. And the beautiful side of it is, hey, if you guys want a specific, consultation, you guys can also do that as well. But here's where you kind of join and subscribe. Just press join now. Like I mentioned before, you'll get these, updates on the daily. You also get the technical analysis, way more in depth, right? You get the DCA alerts, right? So now I'm not only, just utilizing these tools I'm talking about, but I'm also ushering, in teaching you guys, hey, here's how to use it. This kind of a little bit of what I'm doing. You do not have to do the same thing, but really having like that day-to-day instruction on how to utilize the tools. And then, as I mentioned before, the package of the invite only trading view indicators, so beautiful thing. Come over, check it out, and and get rocking and rolling. Like these are the opportunities in life that, when it comes to crypto, going into it educated and having somebody step by step really kind of coach you along the way, and having a group of people going in the same direction as you. This is how you make it. A lot of times doing things as a lone soldier, it's a tough go. So right, we got a couple things for you guys to come in and grab for free, just different videos. I think this one is actually on YouTube, but things that are not on YouTube, for example, is some of these 101. So learn how to read on-chain data 101. You're not going to catch this on the YouTubes. This is something just specifically here on the site, or if you're in the group, once again here, Crypto TA 101. So there's a lot of good information, that you guys can get just from just coming to the site, but you want to dive into the vaults and get a little bit more, just go ahead and click enter the vaults. So I'll go ahead and put this link here in the chat. Boom. And yeah, come on over. And it's a beautiful thing. So let me go ahead and put that in. Boom. Cool. Good deal. So outside of that, how are y'all feeling? Do you guys think 2024 is going to be a year of prosperity, or you think that we got some more pain? Because either way it goes, whether we have some pullbacks, that's going to give us more time DCA, and we can really capitalize on that, or the ship just may sail. So these are things that you really got to think about and really prepare for, right? Let's see. Question. Very good question. Is the NFL rigged? And the answer is no. It's definitely not rigged. There may be some questionable calls where you're watching the game and you're just like, ain't no way that was holding, or ain't no way it was that pass interference. That does happen. Referees do make mistakes. But what I can say is every guy out there is literally giving 110%, 90% of the time. There's some guys that take some plays off, but for a lot of guys in the league, you can't afford to slack off, because guess what? There's another guy that is trying to take your spot next week, and it's cutthroat. They will go and recruit somebody else. If you're not doing what you got to do, they will come and sign somebody else the week after you, and and you're gone. And then so for me, playing 6 years in the National Football League And I could still be playing today, y'all. Like, here's the thing. I could still be playing today if I wanted to. But me finding crypto and me having the gains that I got from investing, I didn't need to anymore, So I was able to retire before the age of 30, which was, incredible accomplishment. But for me, it's just like, what I spend my time doing. I spend my time creating value, not only for myself, but for other people. So I have business outside of this, which I get a chance to, be around people that are, really, really creating wealth through time, not through investing, but through actually learning good hard skills with their hands. And so, but then also here, within cryptocurrency, what we're doing with the platform with Vaults of Crypto. So, you know, you guys, as you guys are maturing in your business growth or your working years or your investment growth, um, being able to get in certain conversations are helpful. As I, was playing in the league, I met a gazillion financial advisors. That's why I know some of the things that, all these guys think about when it comes to macro. I have conversation, with some of these guys. I have a good relationship with a guy that runs a hedge fund out there in Silicon Valley. And so, the interesting thing is these guys, they know not even a third of what we know here, or at least of what we know here on this channel. And so we've got them beat on the knowledge front. But the thing is, you have to keep educating them yourselves because they're picking this stuff up quick. And then so once they get their hands on this stuff, they're going to be able to manipulate the markets a little bit more, because they have more liquidity to do that. And so understanding what to do now is key. Like waiting 6 months from now is, it's a risky bet because trust me, this money is coming in, y'all. So really getting the knowledge is key. But having the conversations, like what I keep mentioning is having the conversations of how to handle wealth. Like, have you asked yourself the question, what are you gonna do when you have $1 million of crypto? Have you? Uh, what does that feel like? How do you handle that emotionally? Do you have a plan of what you're going to do? Are you gonna pay off some loans, pay off your house? I don't know. How are you going to roll those profits into making them sustainable? So it's not just a one-time thing, right? Because the hard part is keeping the money, y'all. Like getting the money is hard. Trust me, it's hard. You have to work very hard for it. But keeping it is even harder. Like this is something that you'll learn. That something that I've learned, especially over the past 7 years of my life. And so, as we proceed with these green candles, you guys are going to start to see a lot of things that you're going to want to do. You're going to go see that car. You're going to go, see that house that you're wanting to buy. Maybe, buy something for your wife or your girlfriend or for yourself, whatever. Right away, you're going to want to get into the spending mentality. And then so it's about keeping things in frame, but also creating a plan to, yes, still be able to do some things you want, but create strategy alongside of maintaining yourself through a bear market, especially learning to reallocate capital into other investment vehicles, because, for me, I own a lot of real estate as well. And so, being able to pivot and know what to do when you have the money is very key. Understand certain money market accounts that you can hold some funds liquid if you need to. Right now, that are paying like 6%, right? Where do you get access to that? Find out in the group, Uh, money sitting at Chase or Wells Fargo giving you 0.0005% is not the move, y'all. And so learning how to, like I mentioned before, leverage platforms like Aave um, to be able to use your wealth to get some extra liquidity without needing a bank. This is stuff that the ETH wells are doing, y'all. Like things that people that have a lot of crypto that we're doing. So learning this stuff now before it happens to you is very important. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other questions about the platform, about signing up? If you guys ever want to even do a private consultation with me, typically I like to do my consultations for at least 2 hours. putting a lot of time and energy into that. So you guys can get access to me via email at Tyler at vaults of crypto.com. So so there's that in the chat. If y'all ever want to holler at me via email, y'all can do that as well. But I'm in the chat every single day, right? Just did like a 30-minute video yesterday about Ethereum and how it's going. So yeah, we got some good information, and we talk about a lot of altcoins, a lot of strategy, but then again, like I said, a lot of understanding on how to use these tools that we all provided, well, that I've all created for us all to work in and get used to using those. So support is important. See what we got here. Let me see if I can put the direct link to be able to go ahead and get in. So let me see here. 1 second. Let me grab that direct link and I'll go ahead and put that. What do y'all have going for the rest of this week? Are you guys working hard? Or are you guys just sitting back watching these green candles pass? What is going on out there? Let me see here. All right. Yo, people are funny. All right. All right. Anyways, here's the link to sign up, y'all. I'll put it in here a few times just in case you miss it. And so the Volta crypto platform, I mean, I can't say enough about it. Uh, it has served me well. The last bit that I've been, kind of putting this stuff together. And here's the best part about it is I'm adding more and more to it every single month. And so, this is, I mean, look, I'm not trying to shield too much, but you guys know what to do. Like, if you're serious, I advise that y'all take this crypto stuff serious. You really need to up the game. You really need to set yourself apart from just everybody else. For example, that's the only way that I was able to do any of that back there. Set myself apart. That means work harder, put in more hours, put in more time. Get smarter, get stronger, get faster. I don't care what everybody else says. I'm gonna do it. Hey, I gotta spend money to eat right. Okay, I'll do it. I gotta, spend money to do this. Okay, I'll do it. Why? Because I'm prioritizing my growth and my greatness before most things. And the people around you are going to win by proxy if you do that for your life, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm in Covington, okay, with my girl going to New Orleans. Cool, man. Enjoy. Safe travels. New Orleans is very lively on the new year. So definitely enjoy that. And wait, hey, man, you've been here on the YouTube. You've probably been able to see the body of work longer than anybody else. So I hope to see you here in the vaults of crypto. So, and it's on sale, guys. Like, so as right now, $69 a month is the sale price. Once we get to January 8th, so I'm kind of doing a promo for this first week, we'll be going up to $89 a month. So, get it while the getting is good over this next week. And, once you get in, there'll probably be, about, because I've had this kind of going for some time. There's a whole lot of information that you can actually go and catch up on. It's probably already about, I'd say, easily 20 hours, if not more, 24 hours of content for you to catch up already in there. And that's stuff that is strictly not on YouTube. So definitely, even if you just want to check it out just to see that, you definitely should think about it. Yeah. So when Phantom was 28 cents, you told people it's going to 50. And guess what? It's going much higher. So yeah, and same thing, y'all have literally witnessed me use these metrics to say, hey, boom, here's kind of when you guys want to think about doing this. Like it's not any secrets, right? I don't have any secrets. I'm literally laying it all out for you guys here today. So even from doxing my previous life. So not too many people can do that and verify it, and that's one thing that in crypto, something that we learned. Don't trust, verify. Like I'm even saying, don't even trust me. Verify that I've walked the walk, right? So yeah, nice. Phantom bag looking real nice. Good, man. It's gonna continue to do that, right? So man, it's one of those things that you guys really get to experience the benefit from doing things the right way. Where, you know, you guys are gonna have such a different perspective when it comes to finance you when you have a good taste in your mouth, but then you execute it on your plan, which is the hardest part. Like a lot of people, I know a lot of people that have money, but they waste it all, right? A lot of people that I know that have money, they were the people that were asking me in like November, December 2021, hey, what should I spend this 100 grand on? And I'm like, yo, like what? Like, these things have been going up for a year and a half already. Like, and I had to be honest with people. I was like, hey, just consider maybe just nibble a little bit, but just wait, you know? And it isn't what they wanted to hear, but it was the right thing to say, you know? And these are people, so now, so some of these are, teammates that I played with before. And, they're already in the chat. And you know another thing is, I select like the people that are already in this chat, before it's public to everyone. These are people that I specifically know are verified, right? So these are people that are high net worth individuals that own businesses in many different endeavors, but just high net worth individuals. Like I said, some of my old teammates that are actually in crypto and understand it. So not only do you guys have access to me, but access to a community of people that, already know what this money game is all about. And so that is very important when uh, you're in routes to getting to where you'd like to go financially. Let's see here. Dip incoming. Keep an eye on the market. Yes, yes. Solana, I want to say is under $100. Um, hey guys, wouldn't it be nice to have the Heikenhashi trend reversal indicator at your disposal? I mean, it's here. Let's see if we could kind of take a look at this dip. Let's see. Take a look at this dip and see what's kind of happening in real time. Right. Good deal. So let's go ahead and get to work. Let's put this on a 3-day, which, dip is not too dippy. It's just a little, nothing crazy, but it is a nice red candle. As far as the downside, probably the biggest red candle that we've seen in quite some time for Solana, especially. Let's see. Let's actually go to Phantom. We haven't talked about Phantom too much today, since we all seem to have packed our bags for Phantom. Let's see if we can pack a little bit more and stack it up. Let's go here. So Phantom. Ooh, down 6.4%. Juicy. All right. So we have some things outlined for Phantom. Let's put this on the daily. All right. So now the 100-day moving average for Phantom is here in orange. And with that being said, here in orange, typically we would want to see some type of interaction with it or below it. So as this goes higher, like what would be nice if Phantom kind of dips and kind of comes sideways, allows the moving average to come up above it. That's going to let us know that we have gotten the price drawdown, but also the time allotment that we need to have a sustainable like local low. So like these moments in here, right? You're much better accumulating versus like these sell points or these high. You know what? I might have to change this metric to say something else instead of sell. It's kind of getting on my nerves a little bit because I don't want you guys to think about selling, especially like we're not even at the top of the bull market, in my opinion. So I might put something like overheated instead of sell for the metric. We'll see. I'll make that change. But you want to have yourself under in an understandable aspect of saying, hey, we have gotten some type of distance from the 100-day moving average. Be patient. Allow the 100 moving average to come up and allow price to potentially go sideways and for us to start to get some buy signals. And so another thing that is beautiful is that we can program these metrics and have them email them when they hit. And so I will even teach you guys how to do that in the educational platform. So it's a beautiful thing, where we have Phantom on this move here go from 17 cents in October, which, like I said, been accumulating. Basically, the long story short, for myself, I can just speak for myself because I've just been using this, and especially in all of 2023, but especially in 2022, kind of doing this by eye. But I made this into an indicator. So on the 3-day chart on Phantom, I have all these buys. So it's buy here at 23 cents, buy here 22 cents, and this buy here at 18 cents. So same thing here, so really using this stuff is very helpful. We'll go back to the daily, but back to what I was saying. Off of this move here, the retracements, we haven't retraced very much. It's just a little tug back, little tug back. But ideally, what we really want to do is hopefully see this get down to the golden ratio at some points, or even this like this 0.5. That's a healthy investable, drawdown. And so this is on the daily chart. So how can we substantiate that? We want to be buying when the sentiment is, extremely fearful. So what we can do is pop that back up. Okay, so we'll pop that up. And so you can see that we still been hovering with extreme greed for Phantom. So we want to see a nice drop off, at least down to like 40 before we consider, getting in too early. Because that's the thing. A lot of time it's just like, oh, let me just hurry up and buy a little dip. This stuff takes patience, and you don't want to blow the dry powder too early, right? So it takes patience. You want to see confluence. So you want to see a buy signal here. You want to see this get lower, hopefully below like 30, but even below 20 is even better. Like how we had it, all this time in early 2023. And if you want to kind of look at things at a tighter range, the shortest time frame that you guys can go to, or that I would suggest that y'all use, the 8 hour, but nothing below that. Which, if you want to say, hey, I have someone that's been sitting for some time and I feel like I'm kind of lagging behind on this bag. I don't have quite enough, and I'm afraid that price may outperform and keep going to the upside. The 8 hour chart is what you're going to want to use. And so it's going to give you a little bit tighter time frame, but still use the same metrics. So, we're a little bit closer to being able to get something to hit as far as a buy on the 8 hour chart. And then same thing, we're already kind of trending down. And so you want to see things get lower like here and here on this 8 hour chart. And, that may be at a price somewhere around here. Let's do a little bit of canvassing. So we'll do here off of this move. We'll see where the liquidity is sitting. Yeah. And then so we should have some stability right here. There's a lot of volume right here at 32 cents. So like a nice solid DCA, if we have like the legit pullback that is investable, like an investable local low, you'd want to see that be somewhere around this window of 32 cents, give or take 32 to 35 cents. And let's line that up there. Yeah. So that's going to get you to the 382 to the zero point 0.5 retracements, which, in a bull run, that is pretty normal. And that's something, like I said, a good beginning DCA, and you trickle into your DCA, right? So, same thing. If you don't know what that even looks like or how to even conceptualize that, get in the group, and then we explain a lot more of that. All right, boom. So, that's kind of what you're looking at. And same thing here. You see the support bouncing off a couple times. So it'd be nice to see that kind of come down, flop over, but catch that support right here in this range. And that would be a nice investable DCA. See if we can catch some Bollinger Bands. So Bollinger Bands on the daily. Yeah. And then so you can kind of see how that would also be running into the bottom of the Bollinger Band as well. So right through the next, let's say next week and a half, 2 weeks, we see this go past the midline of the Bollinger Band and sustain past it. It's definitely going to at some point tap and touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Yeah, we may see that here in January. So see that roll over, and that will be, a nice investable buy. So, Phantom looking pretty good, but on the grand scheme of things, right? Let's put this on the monthly. We've got plenty to go. Plenty to go. So this thing is just coiling up, right? Like that's how we have to kind of see it, is in these accumulation ranges before they break out. This is just the coil before things go exponential. So key prices. You guys want to try to get these bags packed as much as you can before 62 cents. And, ideally, like I like to set limits, right? Like you got to have boundaries. I know some people are like, yeah, just keep buying to your heart's content. Like, no, you need to set boundaries. Like, and so for me, in my personal opinion, for my portfolio, like there's going to be no allocating to Phantom once it's above 95 cents. So once it's above that round number of a dollar, your bag should be packed. So, plenty of investable periods well before that, because you will enter the high risk premium. Okay. And so let's go ahead and look at the risk premium on a monthly scale. So, like I said, using these tools to your benefits. So here we go. And, it's starting to trend up. Let's look at the weekly. So we're starting to trend up a bit, right? But at the end of the day, relatively to where it's been in price, you're not, you're not buying all time highs. That's the main thing. But on a scale of the of weekly on a weekly basis, buying now is a little bit more risky. So it'd be nice to have this kind of draw down a little bit, have this risk premium come back here in the mid area, and I don't know if we'll get back down here below 25 again. For the risk metric on the weekly for Phantom. So because once you go into a bull, then things tend to keep going. So another thing that I did not mention too much of is the on-chain data. So using on-chain data, getting access to that is key. So I've shared a lot of on-chain data, but even some things specifically that you can't necessarily get access to unless you have Workbench available to you on Glassnode. So let's see if we can trend over there really quick. 1 second, let me do that in the background. So Glassnode. Okay. So these are things that we talk about weekly in the community, where the on-chain data is, man, this is the saving grace of knowledge, because it really allows you to see what's really going on chain for Bitcoin and then also Ethereum. And so a lot of things that are liquidity bonded to Ethereum, you can track pretty similarly as well. So let's pull that up in the back. Let me just sign in really quick. Continue. Good deal. All right. So, the interesting thing that a lot of YouTube channels or groups or whatever that I've just not seen, that's why, we want to provide the value here, is an in-depth weekly understanding of how to assess things on chain. So, being able to get access to dashboards that they have on Glassnode is key, which they make you pay a lot to get access to this, but then even getting access to Workbench. And so, Workbench, once you know what you want to look at, you can create the things that are helpful for you. So, for example, something that I created that we've been using in the group on being able to assess when, especially for Ethereum, when short-term holders are not in profit with certain standard deviations, right? These are formulas I've been able to kind of conjure up here. A sober look. Let me see here. So it gives us a sober look and it flashes off signals for us to let us know certain things. So let's look at this in depth. And like I said, I'll give you guys a little snippet. Like, you guys want more, you got to come back into the group. So, what this is having us look at here in red, this is, here, let me give you guys a formula. So the green line, the green formula is going to basically track a 30-day SMA of the short-term holders for Ethereum. And we want to pay attention to these guys because typically their cost basis is where price likes to have some type of support. And then so the cost basis is here in red, but then the key moments is when the price goes below their cost basis for brief periods of time in a bull run. So like here, here, and here. So knowing this and seeing the standard deviations is important. So when we have these moments, I have basically got Glassnode to work up for us a flashing signal. So we have these flashing signals when it reaches 2 standard deviations below their average cost basis in the bull run. So for example, it's going to flash here, here, and here. And so we're currently sitting right here, just right above their cost basis, and we need to see it go 2 standard deviations below it of their net unrealized cost basis. So with that being said, we even get on-chain data flashes as well that get entered into the chat. And so you'll be able to see, hey, short-term holders for Ethereum, they're off sides. That definitely means that all the other altcoins are, on a nice discount. This is another sign to let you know DCA, DCA, DCA. So Confluence is the name of the game. Cool. So I've done a lot of sharing. Want to definitely extend this opportunity out for you guys. And I hope to see you guys inside the vaults. And yeah, we'll keep on rocking. And there's a lot of good stuff. Let's see here. So is Aaron Rodgers in the chat? Maybe. I can tell you this, he does own crypto. I can tell you that. Let's see here. Okay, so personal experience, and I appreciate the gesture. So Wade says, when we spoke in June, I was overwhelmed with your knowledge. I'm getting in the group for sure, and I appreciate that, man. Because like I said, I only want to provide value. That's it, you know. And so I'm glad that you've received the value. If you don't mind, post and talk about some of the results that you've had since we've talked. I'm sure it's been a lot of good things for you thus far. Let's see. I'm eyeing some potential ILV dip. Also trying to organize for next month. Okay. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. Getting prepared, getting ready. Yeah. And I agree. Macro mop. I like that. But yeah, instead of saying sell, probably code it up to just say too hot. I agree with that one. Yes, yes, yes. So I know we talk about ILV a lot, but yes, extremely, extremely fond of IMX. People don't understand. I have a lot to say about IMX. And right, like I said, I don't talk about everything on YouTube. But since you asked, we'll talk about it here. So IMX, if you've been tracking IMX, it has ranked up in total market capitalization in the top 50. About 3 months ago, it was hovering about like 50 to 46. Right now, I want to say it's sitting at like 34. So IMX is a huge, huge, huge platform that is connected to a lot of things on Ethereum. That helps. It kind of works as an oracle, where not well, not as oracle, where it's going to be able to update the pricing for many different platforms, so they can actually have usability. So especially for ILV, right? If you're playing the game, if you're trying to, hey, use some Ethereum, battle somebody else, and for you to actually be able to do that, you need IMX. And so there's a lot of other, which same thing. We can have these discussions there in the chat that are using IMX currently and that are already signed up to be using ILV here in the next year or two. So yes, ILV, it's in the portfolio. And that's another thing. Well, I want to say last night in the group, I shared the list of coins to really highly consider for 2024 and 2025. So you'll find that in the chat as well. Hey, sounds good. See you inside. See you inside. And the biggest thing is this is a chat not only of information, but we have some fun. One thing for me is I really can't wait till we actually see this thing through, and I really want to get together. I don't care what's at. It can be anywhere, and we all talk about our experience together because it has been exciting so far, but it is just getting started. So we'll kind of plot, where we want to do meetups and all that kind of good stuff. Hey, smooth brain. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. Well, we spent an hour and a half. I appreciate your guys' time. If you guys have any questions, like I said, you can email me at, once again, I'll put that in the chat, tyler@vaultsofcrypto.com. And then once again, I'll put the link to join the vaults, right? And as I mentioned before, just 100 people, y'all. So as of right now, I think the last head count was just 13. 100, 100 people can accumulate very quickly. And so, don't waste time. But if you got to think about it, go ahead to the website, check out some of the free stuff, check out the body work here on YouTube, and you'll see and make the decision for yourself, right? No one's forcing you to do anything. Cool. All right. So emails in the chat, link is in the chat. Then put the website in the chat one more time. Cool. And yeah, y'all. I'll see y'all inside. So thanks again, and I'll catch you guys on YouTube. Who knows, another week or so. Peace.